January 1941. The American Northeast is caught in the grip of a fierce winter, buried under a thick blanket of snow. In this era, railroads are the lifeblood of the nation. They are the arteries carrying people, goods, and mail across a frozen continent. But on one fateful night, a passenger train, filled with unsuspecting travelers, is about to chug its way straight into the history books. Imagine the scene. A blizzard is raging. The wind howls like a hungry wolf, and visibility drops to almost nothing. The landscape outside the train windows is a swirling vortex of white. In this chaos, no one, not the seasoned crew, nor the passengers settling in for their journey, could have possibly predicted the terrifying chain of events that was about to unfold. The story begins in the bustling heart of New York City. The train, a long serpent of steel and light, is packed to the brim. Soldiers on leave, families heading home, business travelers. All walks of life are represented. At the helm is the engineer, Thomas Whitaker, a man with decades of experience and a steady hand. He's seen his share of winter storms and feels confident he can handle whatever the night throws at him. But this is no ordinary storm. With every mile the train travels, the blizzard intensifies. The wind whips snow into deep drifts across the tracks. The steel rails, usually a reliable path, become slick with ice. The crucial signals that guide the train are obscured by the relentless snowfall. And to make matters worse, the communication lines that connect the train to the outside world start to fail one by one. As the train pushes deeper into the rural, rolling hills of Pennsylvania, the true power of the storm becomes apparent. A sudden, massive accumulation of snow and ice on the tracks begins to slow the train's powerful engine. Progress grinds to a near halt. A palpable tension starts to creep through the passenger cars. Laughter dies down. Conversations become hushed. Even the hardened crew members, men who've spent their lives on the rails, exchange worried glances. They know this is not a routine winter night. This is something different, something dangerous. Then, in an instant, the journey turns into a nightmare. A critical piece of machinery, a railroad switch, frozen solid by the biting cold, fails to operate. Instead of staying on the main line, the train is violently shunted onto a side track. And waiting there, cloaked in the darkness and the swirling snow, is another train, a heavy cargo train, parked and unmoving. The collision is now unavoidable. There's a horrifying screech of metal on metal, a deafening crash that echoes through the frozen landscape. Steel and wood splinter and buckle under the immense force of the impact. The passenger cars lurch violently, throwing people from their seats. Panic erupts in the darkness. Yet, in a stroke of sheer luck, a miracle amidst the chaos, the passenger cars remain mostly intact. No one is fatally injured, but the immediate relief is quickly replaced by a new chilling reality. Hundreds of people are now trapped inside crippled train cars in the middle of nowhere, as the blizzard rages on and the temperature plummets to life-threatening lows. With the initial shock of the crash wearing off, a grim realization sets in. They are stranded. The heating systems in the cars begin to fail, and the freezing cold starts to seep in through broken windows and bent frames. Shivering and scared, the passengers and crew face a new battle. A battle for survival against the merciless winter. But in this desperate moment, something incredible happens. The human spirit ignites. Instead of succumbing to fear, the people on the train band together. The crew, using their knowledge of the train, and passengers, using whatever tools they can find, begin to work as one. They use crowbars and sheer brute force to pry open jammed doors, creating escape paths into the deep snow. They clear snow from vestibules and organize search parties to make sure no one is left behind in the twisted wreckage. Blankets are gathered and shared, with the children and the elderly given priority. The few flasks of hot coffee or soup are passed around, providing precious warmth. Heated debates about the best strategy echo through the frozen cars. Should they stay put and wait for a rescue that might never come? Or should they risk venturing out into the blizzard to find help? Through it all, a sense of community, of shared purpose, binds them together. People work tirelessly through the long, dark night, many of them ignoring their own injuries or the creeping numbness of frostbite. Their only goal is to keep each other alive until morning. As the first faint light of dawn breaks through the storm, it reveals a scene of both devastation and hope. The rescue crews, guided by flickering lanterns and improvised signals set up by the survivors, finally begin to arrive. It's a monumental effort. Roads are impassable, so they come on horseback, on tractors, and even on sleds, fighting their way through the massive snowdrifts. They find the survivors cold, exhausted, but alive. The sight of the rescuers is a moment of pure, unadulterated relief. One by one, the stranded passengers are carefully evacuated from their metal prison. They are carried, helped, and guided to safety. Miraculously, after more than 12 hours trapped in below-freezing conditions, every single person survives. It's a testament to their incredible resilience and their refusal to give up. In the days and weeks that followed, the story of the Great Train Disaster of 1941 made headlines across the nation. It was a harrowing tale, but it was also an inspiring one, and it served as a wake-up call for the entire railroad industry. The incident led to sweeping changes in safety protocols to ensure such a disaster would never happen again. Winter maintenance for track switches became far stricter and more frequent. Emergency supply kits containing blankets, food, and first aid materials became a standard requirement on all passenger trains. Communication and signaling systems were upgraded to be more resilient in extreme weather. And perhaps most importantly, crew training was completely overhauled to include specific procedures for winter disasters and mass casualty incidents. Today, this nearly forgotten train disaster is remembered not just for the chaos and the crash, but as a powerful story of teamwork, courage, and human ingenuity. It's a profound reminder that even in the face of the harshest conditions, the American spirit of community and perseverance can triumph over adversity. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible tales from history.